Question 17. Some girls did a sponsored swim to raise money for charity. The table shows information about the amounts of money the girls raised. A. On the grid, draw a box plot for the information in the table. Okay, and then there's also further parts to this question. Now, I'm just going to point something out here. It actually shows us exactly what a box and whisker plot looks like underneath. And then we've got a table of values here that we need to turn into a box and whisker plot. So hopefully, if you weren't even sure about how to do a box and whisker plot, you would be able to deduce exactly what to do from the picture. So the least amount of money is 10. So along here where we have 10, I'm going to draw a line because we have a little line here that seems to represent low amounts of money. So I'm going to draw a line. Now, the actual length of our line is not important at all. We're also told that the greatest amount of money is 45, so we're going to find 45. There's 40, there's 50, 45 must be here. We're told that the median is 25. The median is the middle number, the middle value, generally. So 25 is going to be here. I'm going to draw another line. We're told that the lower quartile is 16, so that's going to be this line here. That's 15 there, so 16 is going to have to be one small line up. The upper quartile is 42, so there's 40, 41, 42 is going to have to be here. And then what we're going to do is complete the box. So you should have something like this, where there's your box like so. And we've got the median here. And we've got the highest value here, the lowest value here. And we normally join the box to its whiskers by straight lines like so. And that should get us all 2 marks. Do bear in mind, you'll see that in my picture, these lines here are much longer than what they have in the diagram here. It doesn't matter. We're going to get full marks for what we've done. Okay, so it tells us that some boys also did the sponsored swim, and it says the box plot shows information about the amounts of money the boys raised. Compare the amount of money the girls raised with the amount of money the boys raised. This is a very, very common question to come up in higher level GCSE. It sometimes follows a cumulative frequency curve as well when we're asked to compare the distributions. So we're going to have to compare the boys with the girls, and you always talk about 2 things. You're always going to compare the medians, or an average. The only average we can see from our diagrams is the median, and you will always compare the range or the interquartile range. I prefer to do the interquartile range because it's a better measure of spread. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let's have a look. What can we say? Well, let's start with the medians. I can see that the boys' median is bigger than the girls. So what I can say is, on average, the boys raised more money. And we're going to explain how we know that, as they have a bigger median. So that's how we know that the boys have raised more on average, because they've got a bigger median. And the next thing that I'm going to do is compare the interquartile range. The interquartile range for the girls is definitely bigger than it is for the boys. You can see, let me just show you exactly how I know. Suppose I take this box here. That's going to be that size. Let's take it down and just see how it compares to the boys. Let's try that again. Let's take it down. We can see that the girls have a wider box in this case, which means that their data is more spread out. So we can say the girls' amounts of money. So the amounts of money that the girls raised, the amounts of money are more spread out. And how do we know? As they have a bigger interquartile range, IQR. And that's going to get you 2 marks there. I cannot stress this enough. Nearly every time there is a cumulative frequency curve or a box plot question, you're nearly always going to have to do a comparison afterwards, and you always talk about the median and the interquartile range. You should always make your best effort to talk about it or to do your comparison in the context of the question. One big warning. Do not just compare, say, the lower quartile of the boys and the girls or the upper quartile in the boys and the girls. It's going to get you 0 marks. So always talk about the median, always talk about the interquartile range, and make an effort to talk about them in the context of the question.